Today's guest is a Grammy winner, a humanitarian, the mastermind behind the legendary Lilith Fair Festival, and she is just now releasing a brand new album, September the 19th, after 11 years. It's called Better Broken, and on top of that, there's a documentary about Lilith Fair premiering at none other than TIFF this year. So please welcome an artist who rivals me for the title of most likely to make you cry while driving, Sarah McLachlan. Sarah, welcome to the Jann Arden podcast. Where the hell are you?
I am in Tofino, Vancouver Island.
How nice.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to get right to it. Thank you for one thing for joining us. I am probably the most excited person in the world about your new record. And it's been a lot of years since you recorded. And maybe we can
11 years, yeah.
tell me why. What as a creative person, and you are a creative tour de force, why the 11-year gap?
I just think it was timing. Like I was very busy. I had 2 teenage daughters. I was a dance mom. I was board chair of both my foundation and my music schools. I was one of the principal fundraisers. So I was wearing a lot of hats, and music just kind of took a bit of a sideline for a while. And I have never been prolific at all either. So I actually wrote a whole bunch of songs for during and around and after a long, hideous breakup that took a long time to dismantle, and put those songs aside for a while. And then kind of as I revisited them a bunch of years later, I'm like, oh, it's like bad diary entries. Like nobody needs to hear this shit. But there was one song that sort of stood out, and that was Wilderness, which was kind of like, this just kind of tells the whole story. So why do I need any of the other stuff? But then I realized, oh shit, now I got to go and write a bunch more songs because I now no longer have enough material for a record. But I went into the studio with Tony Berg and Will McClellan and got this amazing synergy of working together and being creative and being collaborative again. And I ended up finishing a bunch of other songs really quickly. So it all just came together after making that decision, to be in the studio and work on what I had, and the other stuff will come.
I was looking at some of the beautiful images from a photo shoot. I believe there was a video for Gravity that was shot as well that you did.
In Tofino, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that you're so grounded in that place. I mean, you're such a West Coast. You've been like the greatest champion for, well, Tofino, the chain of islands out there. But you look so fucking amazing. And I saw your tour. No, but you did. You're so well. Like you are a person of the trees and the air and hiking and being out there. And you seem like you're in such a good place in your life. And I'm wondering how you felt about being photographed again, doing videos again after a big break. Was it very just kind of serendipitous stepping back into that? I mean, you must feel good about people saying you have not changed since your last record. Like you look better now. I've had so many people come up to me, Sarah, and say, have you fucking seen McLachlan? Like, what is she? Is she microdosing something? Like an age-defying elixir? I said, I don't know. I think she eats a lot of broccoli. I don't know. I'll ask her.
I eat a shit ton of broccoli. It's true. But I'm really happy. I'm really happy in my life, in the choices I've made. I feel really solid in myself. I feel grounded. And the photo shoot and the videos have been the easiest ones I've done. And it's funny because, I'm almost 58. I have wrinkles. I have a ton of sun damage because I surf every day. And I've only just recently started putting on sunscreen, which it's just like, I'm so bad at all that stuff. I just don't really think about it. But I feel freer than I ever have in my life to just go, this is who I am. I am middle-aged. I just feel an ease about all of it. And it's been really amazing to just go, yeah, you know what? I have some bags under my eyes. I have this, I have that. I have these little jowls. I'm like, whatever. I'm almost 58 years old. I feel great. my
Yeah.
body's working. Like I was driving, I drove my stepdaughter down to Victoria to go to school a couple days ago. It's like a 4.5 hour drive. And I was driving back and I was like, man, my body feels pretty good. Usually after a long drive like that, you're really stiff. And I'm like, I feel good. I'm so lucky. My body still works. I feel healthy. Um, I'm just like grateful, super grateful every day for everything in my life. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I'm really
Absolutely.
happy. And, I think manifesting a positive energy, uh, being grateful for where you're at, the place that you're at. Yeah, I have aches and pains, but I'm like, everything works. So I'm
Well,
just holding on to that every day of like, I feel good today. I'm grateful for how I feel. I'm thankful for it. And I don't take it for granted.
it's super inspiring. And then I've always said this to you, you are the real deal and you're so authentic. And for me, just watching you over the last 30 years, um, do what you do and speak your truth. And I remember you probably remember this. It was a long time ago. And we had coffee together one day. You had called me. We would just went and had coffee and you were in just a tough spot. I was going through town touring or something. And we had this heart to heart conversation. And I left that day feeling like you had taught me so much in the 45 minutes that we sat and had a coffee. And
Yeah.
I just thought, oh my God, I'm so grateful to this woman. You've been a huge guiding light for me over the years. You were recording before I was. And I just thought, oh my God, here's this beautiful, fucking talented girl. And maybe I can do this too. Maybe someone like me from Springbank, Alberta, singing this kind of music. And you always were very encouraging to me. I don't know how, if you remember that, but over the years, you've been extraordinarily encouraging to me. And I just want people to know that because I don't think we say those kinds of things often enough of the kind of person you are and that you
Well,
want other
thank
people,
you.
other women to win.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Jan, I remember that conversation profoundly too, because I was in a dark place and it was so important for me to connect with you as an artist, as a woman doing this weird job that we both have that is isolating and strange. And um, it was really great just to connect with you and talk through stuff and feel normal. In a really, in a way that's like, I didn't feel normal. I don't usually feel normal.
Mm,
But yeah,
it's
so
overrated.
it is overrated. But I mean, my point is, I really appreciated having that time to talk with you as well. And we don't do it enough, but, I sort of feel like we're kindred spirits. We don't get to spend enough time together or talk about stuff. But when we do, it's intense and important. So
Yeah.
thank you for
I'm
that.
yeah, no, you're very welcome. I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin because what I do, Sarah, is I hog these podcasts. I listen back and nobody says a fucking word except me. So Caitlin, Sarah, Caitlin has, we all have so many questions and I want to get through a lot of them. So I'm going to stop with the gushing stuff, but just know, people are so excited that you're going to be on this week. And, you carry with you so much nostalgia with people. People attach memories to your music, meeting the love of their life, making love, being at a party, going to school, going through things. Sarah McLachlan, your music and the people that you involved in your circle, Lilith Fair, what you did there. So I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin because I just want you to have the
She brought a
opportunity, Caitlin.
prop. I have a prop. I have a prop.
Okay,
I was going to
go.
say, we're going to go from Jan gushing to me gushing. So, the
Okay,
prop
good.
that I brought, and I dug this out of my storage, I held on to my original Lilith Fair ticket from August 16th, 1998.
The proof.
The proof. And then, not only that, the next year, August 21st, 1999, this is the full rundown. So this is like the little pamphlet you would get. That was the artwork. And then on the back is the lineup of the artists that played. And it was Deborah
Wow.
Cox, Dixie Chicks, Indigo Girls, Sheryl Crow, and then Sarah McLachlan. That was the main stage. And I remember going with like all of my girlfriends. I think the year that this year was, we were all 15. We sat on lawn together and they would, we would go back. We would go back and see the current iterations of Lilith Fair. And you're right, Jann, like the nostalgia around this was so huge. And I feel like because I then went on to work in radio, and I at the time didn't even realize sort of the power on a music industry sense of what Sarah was doing with Lilith Fair. Like I growing up, I didn't realize that radio stations wouldn't play two female artists back to back. And then I go on to be on a radio station where it's like Dua Lipa into Sabrina Carpenter into Taylor Swift. We would have these blocks of songs where we wouldn't even hear a male artist. And so I was like, so this stuff, I didn't realize how important it was at the time. I just went because these were the artists that I was listening to. I wanted to go with my girlfriends, and it felt like a rare, inclusive space where we just knew it was going to be good vibes and good music. So that's my fangirl moment. And now there's a documentary kind of to celebrate all of the nostalgia and get a behind the scenes look at this. And it's premiering, of course, at TIFF this year. Sarah, before we started recording, you were saying how you're coming into town for it. You're going to be doing press for the lead up. And I'm really curious about the experience of this documentary for you. Like, how did it feel to revisit Lilith Fair through the lens of a documentary? Were there moments that surprised you, even though you lived it? Like, how did that feel?
I think the overall feeling was a great sense of pride and for getting to be part of it, nostalgia for all of it, a little bit of PTSD in some moments as well. Revisiting some of the press conferences and some of the challenges, the bomb threats, the pro-lifers. But generally, I mean, I think Ally and the team did such a fantastic job of, culling down months and months and months of work into a 90-minute piece that really encapsulated all of it: the joy, the challenges, the safe spaces that were created for both us as artists and for the audience. Caitlin, you mentioned this, like just to be able to come to a thing like this and show up as you are and be celebrated, be accepted, not an issue. And I think I didn't actually realize the power of that. As a straight white woman, I had a chef. I was very lucky that we had a chef who was with us. He wasn't out. And I remember him being tormented about telling his family and about how the crew would accept this. And it was just so surprising to me that that was even an issue, but this was 1987, or sorry, 1997. And it was still very much a thing. He wasn't that to feel comfortable being out. And that was where he kind of blossomed and was like, okay, it's okay for me to be myself here.
Yeah.
And that's just one, Dan Levy told me the same thing, a young boy coming to this, this show where it's like, oh, everybody's holding hands and it's a good vibe. I feel like I can actually be myself here and be okay with it. And I think that's, we desperately still need places like that to exist where we can all just be ourselves, and not just be ourselves, but be elevated and be cherished for our differences instead of crucified for them,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but that's another whole story.
Yeah, I also feel like it was a rare bright spot too at the time, because you consider it in the context of, there was Woodstock 99 and a whole host of horrible things that happened around that festival for women.
Yeah.
And there was, a lot of the other festivals were like very bro culture dominated, not to throw anyone under the bus, Warped Tour a little bit, but like, I remember, not that I didn't enjoy going to those, but the vibe was so different. So as a woman, I remember thinking it was really, really exciting and welcoming, and a rare place where all of our parents, when we were early days, high school or junior high, would actually drop us off. We would go and sit on the lawn, and they were not concerned about us as if we were going to other shows. It was, they knew the vibes. The reputation sort of preceded the festival in the most positive way possible.
Which is great. And I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I would go to Horde or Lollapalooza and it's just a different vibe. Like as a woman, you're like, you just, I remember this is an aside, but I just saw this Gillian Anderson piece talking about her young lover, and she was asking him, what are you most afraid of? I said, I'm most afraid that women will laugh at me. And he said,
Yeah.
what are you most afraid of? I'm afraid that you will rape me or kill me. So this is the inherent difference. I mean, that's,
No, it's a broad stroke, but it's
it's
not
a broad
untrue.
stroke, but it's like, yeah, we're just used to, I remember, getting my ass grabbed. Like there was just all these things that were kind of normalized that now finally, thank goodness, things are shifting. And it's like, oh, I guess it isn't okay to do that then. But then we have, the president of the United States saying that it's just fine. So
Well, then.
it's, well then, yeah.
There's a resurgence in this type of festival too. I just, you were probably very happy to see someone like Brandy Carlisle bringing the, girls just want a weekend, and it's coming back. All of this. I love it.
I don't think it ever went anywhere. I mean, girls rock camps, Brandy Carlisle, Taylor Swift having women open up for her. We as women living in these systems that were created by men for men, if we want things to change, I think it's like if we can get a position of power, not only do we need allies in men, but we also need to lift each other up and try and change the narrative that we're all in competition with each other. Because it's just perpetuating this idea that we have to fight each other to get to a better place, where it's like, no, we all need each other. We need to carry each other and lift each other up and support each other. And there's such a strength in that.
I want to talk about Better Broken. 11 years since you had a major label release. And I cannot stop listening to or talking about Gravity. And I heard you play it. And I did reach out to you afterwards, and you were kind enough to send me like a demo that you weren't finished it yet. You were about to do like this amazing string section piece on it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the song, because you talked about taking this 11-year break. You had teenage kids. A lot was going on. You had a very contentious relationship with, one of your daughters in particular.
Yeah.
And this song stopped the audience in its tracks. Sarah, you were at the show as well.
Yes. Yeah. And I was in tears.
It was so, it was like, I felt like I'd heard it a million times, but it was so new and so fresh. So talk to me about that song and Better Broken, like how you're feeling about the record in general.
Well, as far as having a new record out, I mean, I'm incredibly, I love this record so much. I'm so proud of it. Every other record I've ever done, by the end of the process, I'm so sick of it, I don't want to hear it. And I keep listening to this record. I love the songs. I love what we created. Gravity, I think it's not Angel, but it's another one of those songs for me that is just so deeply personal. And writing about this ongoing challenge that I had with my daughter, where, she went through a year of university during COVID and had a terrible time, came home a mess, and I could not reach her. I didn't know how to help her, to fix her. We went into family systems counseling, which was a miracle for us. And peeling back all the layers of the onion and recognizing that the way I was parenting, I thought I was doing the polar opposite that my parents did, or my mother did for me. And somehow, even though I was using totally different language, the same feeling was happening that, you don't hear me, you don't get me, I don't feel safe, which is devastating as a parent, because that's obviously not what I was trying to impart. But so to recognize that and go, okay, I need to shift the way I communicate, because clearly it's not working. And finding out a different way, like when reaching her, like it was so amazing for both of us, for her to go, oh, you aren't trying to make me feel like shit. You're actually trying to help me. This is coming from a place of love, but I didn't recognize that. And so just all those different kinds of communications, and getting to a place where what all these things that we thought were, impetuousness and just this anger that we couldn't place. It was anxiety. She would hit this wall, and when things got really hard and she just couldn't find a way through, and it would shut her down. And I don't have anxiety. I didn't recognize it as that. She wasn't able to articulate it. Um, so we kept hitting this wall for so many years, and it took this family systems counseling for me to go, oh my God, to recognize it for what it was, so that I would parent completely differently. And it was such a beautiful and painful seismic shift to get to this place where, okay, now I understand. And for her to be able to, for me to be able to reach her and for her to be able to accept that, just changed everything completely for us in our relationship. And it's just been so much better ever since. So thankful for it. But the song is about that sort of place in between where you're like, as a parent, you see your kids suffering and you can't reach them. It's terrifying. And you're like, I'm here. I'm right here. I love you. I've got you. I've got your back. But you're not hearing it. You're not seeing it. Fuck, what do I do? And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
and I've had a number of conversations with my daughter about discussing this as publicly as I have, because it's one thing for me to talk about my own feelings about something, but when you're bringing somebody else's story in, and it's a very, it's a vulnerable, sensitive topic, and she's like, no, I'm totally fine with it, Mom. I want you to talk about it. I think it's important for people to know. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's I love that song so much. I love singing it. And for me, I don't feel the pain of it. I feel the release from it every time I sing that song. And that's how I felt about Angel. It was one of those, and it's that, and every person I play Gravity for, whether they're a daughter or a mother of children, like, it's like, oh God, I totally understand this. I mean, we all struggle as parents. It's the hardest fucking job on the planet. And every child, every relationship is such an intimate dance, figuring out how to navigate it. So I think for me, it was important to talk about it openly, and for me to go, hey, I had to eat a lot of humble pie. I thought I was doing a great job as a parent, and turns out I sucked at it. And just with with my one kid, my second daughter is like, it's a very easy relationship. Like we're similar in so many ways. And so it's just an easier relationship. And my eldest, we were kind of oil and water. So trying to figure out how to navigate that was, very different. But
to be able to write about these things, I mean, for artists, it's such a profound privilege to be able to go, this is what I feel like. And then you get to share it with millions of people that do not know how to articulate themselves, that don't have a voice. But if that's any indication, I have not heard the whole record, but do you feel like there's a theme to this album? I know Spotify, it's like one single at a time. Like all the streamers are like, they grab songs and they end it up on a fucking playlist. But I still make albums too with the whole idea in mind. And I was wondering if you did that.
There's never a whole idea in mind to start with. It just sort of evolves, and and themes tend to reveal themselves over time. I think reclamation, reclaiming self, is a massive one here. And sorry, I have a very loud vocal doggy at my feet.
I thought that was me farting. I thought I was farting. No.
She's like, I'm waiting for my walk, Mom. Come on. So yeah, reclamation of self, resilience. I mean, I've lived a ridiculous, privileged life, but I've still, I've lost 2 parents to a long, ugly battle with cancer. I've gone through some challenges in my life that have, forced me to take a good hard look at myself and my choices, and we don't get to this point unscathed. And Jann, to your point, like it is such a privilege to be an artist, to be able to dig into that stuff and find a way through with music. I mean, that has always been the most valuable form of therapy. It's so cathartic, which is why, as I said, when I sing these songs now, afterwards, it's not like I'm come up with any amazing answers, but it just allows me to find a place to put it where I can manage it. And I've actually worked through it enough so that I feel nothing but like relief and joy and release when I sing these songs.
Yeah. How do you feel about the impending press, the relentless, similar questions that you're going to be answering, being thrust back in the limelight? I know you got a little taste of that by going out on the road. I feel like you were a little blown away by the response to that tour. Like when you stepped out and people showed up, celebrities, fucking people with their daughters, people that were now 50 years old with their 75-year-old mothers that were just revisiting a place in their life. We touched on it a little earlier on the podcast. Were you surprised by that?
You're talking about the Foaming Toward Ecstasy tour. Yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of overwhelmed by the response. I had no idea of the intensity of people's attachment to that particular record. Like you said, like I just met so many people who were like, this was the record that got me through high school, through university, through all these seminal changes in their lives. And it was there with them. And I mean, I think that's kind of the most beautiful validation as an artist, to have someone tell you that something that you've created has really helped them and help them through a tough time. I mean, that's what music does for me. When I think about the the songs that resonated the strongest with me and made me feel and made me someone could articulate something that I couldn't articulate, and it made me feel less alone. And I think that's one of the most beautiful gifts that music has for us, is it connects us to ourselves and to each other. And yeah, makes us feel like, okay, maybe I can get through this because someone else has gotten through it, and they're
Yeah.
kind of showing me the way a little bit.
Do they have massive press junkets for you planned? Is that all? Yeah.
If you're not
Yeah,
on
because I
YouTube, her
yeah.
head is in her hands.
Yeah, there's definitely, that it's not my favorite part to talk about the music. My favorite part is singing the music, but I recognize it as it's part of the job. And if it allows me to get up there and sing every night and have that beautiful emotional release that happens when I sing live, and the connection that I feel like I'm part of something bigger than myself. It's like church for me. If I get to do that every night, then all the other stuff is, that's fine. I'll do it. Beats the hell out
Mhm.
of digging ditches. Come on. I mean, it's not that tough a gig.
Well, it's still you have to leave the dogs and you have to leave, you're surfboarding and
Surfboard.
well, I mean, the fact that you do that is mind-boggling to me, but it is a lot. You step from one world into the other.
Yeah,
And I'm sure
for
that
sure.
must have crossed your mind going, and you have a partner now and you have
Oh.
an extended family, and you're just like, you must have had some kind of conversation like, honey, this is what I'll be looking at for the next year and a half.
Yeah, by the way, you know how I've been kind of off for the last 6 years? Well, it's a little different now. Yeah, but there's it, it it's not, I'm not going to tour the way I used to. I used to go out for 2 years,
Mm.
and I'm too old for that. Um, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't have to. So I think, I'll go out for a couple months. Like I know I'm gone essentially from the 10th of September kind of to the first week of December, right? So good solid 2 months. Anybody can do hard things for 2 months. It's fine. There's there again, there's that two hours of every night where I'm performing, which is amazing and wonderful. Hey, oh my goodness, they're just like basically mawing at each other down here on the
No,
floor.
it's terrifying. Like you are
It's
talking to an invisible thing again. I hate it. We're not going to keep you forever, Caitlin. I do want to just hand it back to you just for a couple more questions, and just remind people that Sarah has a brand new, beautiful record coming out, Better Broken, first album in 11 years, and you have to listen to this record. And if you get a chance to see Sarah, for God's sakes, go. It's I would imagine you're going to be focusing on the new record, but also having your catalog definitely make some appearances throughout.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I had to cancel the Fumbling Towards Ecstasy Canadian tour last year because I got sick and lost my voice for a bunch of months. For a while I didn't know whether I'd be able to sing this new record because I did damage to my vocal cords. But they're better now. Yay. And so I'm redoing it this October. But I'm also viewing it kind of as a soft launch of the new record. So I'll definitely be doing at least a couple, 3, 4 songs off the new record.
Yeah.
As part of this tour. And then I'm going to be doing some shows in America, I think, in mid to late November.
I kind of want to know who you're listening to a lot of lately. And I'm also curious as to who you might add if you were curating like a Lilith Fair lineup for 2025. Who might you put on it in Fantasyland?
This is where my mind draws a blank. I don't really listen to music.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
I have music going on in my head.
It would be me and Sarah. It would just be me and Sarah. And
no, I mean, my daughter educates me a lot on music. Let's see. I was listening to Katie Gavin's solo record. I was listening to Boy Genius. I was listening to I can't think of artists' names.
It's
Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Freaking love her. Who's the gal? Pink Pony Club. Oh my God, please.
Chapel Roan.
Chapel Rowan.
Thank you, Chapel Rowan. Yeah, she'd be there.
Chapel Rowan.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Chapel Rowan.
sorry, Chapel. Send your letters to Sarah Burke.
Olivia Dean. Just trying to I'm just trying to think of a few things that my daughter sent me saying, this is really good. You got to listen to this. Yeah, there'll be SZA. Let's see.
Love her.
God, you know a lot.
Yeah.
Well, these are the few. I'm just, off the top of my head thinking of some of the artists that my daughter's been sending me saying, you got to listen to this. So, yeah. But what was the other part of that question? I think there was 2 parts of that question.
Well,
it
was
just
kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
Because it was like, who are you listening to / who would you put on Lilith Fair 2025? So I think I'm going to wrap them both together. See?
Yeah.
Okay. That's our lineup.
Yeah. And then, of course, if I am listening to music, it's my staples. It's my Fleetwood Mac. It's my Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
The early 70s were still some of my favorite times in music. So I go back there a lot.
What is, after your tour, do you think you will go underneath the waters, as it were, and pull the blankets up around your chin once you go do this tour? You've done a record now. Do you see Sarah McLachlan kind of going, that's it for me. I was out, I did this tour press thing for 10 months, and now I'm going to go live my life again. I'm
going to go back under the rock. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, part of the trepidation of putting on a record means doing the press junkets, being out there, having your face out there. I like my anonymity. I like having a normal life. I have this ridiculous privilege of having lots of time off where I get to skate ski every day or surf every day, and I kind of wish I'd found this passion earlier. But I kind of want to be an athlete now because my body is going to give out at a certain point and I can only do so much for so long. And so I look at the fact that, I'm in good shape. I'm almost 58 and I wonder how long before the shoe drops. So I'm like, am I going to go bust my ass and tour for 3 years? Or I'm going to, it's like, I can sit and play piano and play guitar and write songs till the cows come home when my body gives out. But I just want to, so, my tour is done December 1st or something like that. And ski season starts like on the 16th. So I'm like missing the first 2 weeks and I'm going to go ski my brains out all winter and surf and then probably tour in the late spring, early summer.
Do you think those are the things that brought you this new record in your time off?
Nature. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I spend a ton of time hiking. I have 2 beautiful dogs. who require a lot of exercise. And so they get me out every single day, rain or shine. So I spend a lot of time in the woods, and I think I feel very grounded doing that. Um, Physical exercise really helps me quiet the noise. To have that, to be able to put my hands on an instrument and play for the joy of playing, is those two things are probably the best medicine in the world for me.
Mhm.
And then having really vibrant, beautiful relationships. My friendships are
Yeah.
incredibly important to me. To have people that I know I can call at any time and talk about anything and feel safe to do so. Um, Having that lack of judgment and care, is really profoundly important too. So I feel really lucky that I have all these tools in my tool chest that I know I can go um, to help me. And I mean, I just by nature am pretty optimistic and joyful. Like I have a lot of things that bring
Yeah.
me joy. I'm so lucky, so
Yeah.
freaking lucky.
Well, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And like I said earlier, you've just been it's great to see someone like yourself, and this goes for your music school as well, that you have been so involved in for so many years. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of young people that have benefited from your love of music. It's something that you are very passionate about. I've been lucky enough to do the odd thing for you to raise money, and that in and of itself is a full-time goddamn job, but you have about 19 other full-time jobs. But listen, I just want to congratulate you on the documentary. I know Dan Levy has, been a huge driving force behind that, and I just want to wish you all the luck at TIFF. I would love to waltz in there and watch that at TIFF. It would be fantastic. But what a tribute to you and the work you did and your love of music, and kind of being so far ahead of the curve in doing something that you just knew would hit, and it did. And it has afforded you such the opportunity to walk dogs for 6 years at a time, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that. But
yeah, I've had a
congratulations
pretty
on the
charmed life.
but and you've had some shit. So you
Yeah.
can say, you have a great character because you have endured and gone through a lot of stuff. But anyway, enjoy the new record. I know your fans are going to flip out. Thanks for doing this podcast. Better Broken is a new record coming out. Gravity. Just go listen to Gravity. Play it over and over and over again. Micro dose some mushrooms and lay on some outdoor carpet and just listen to it. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And we will be right back after these wonderful, I don't even know if they're messages. I don't know if we're selling something, but we will be back. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Lots to talk about today. We are very excited because we have a show that's going to be going on at the National Music Center in Calgary, and they had a wonderful display of moi for a long, long time. They had guitars, they had some of my clothes, they had some of my notebooks. There is 5 extraordinary floors of memorabilia. There's a whole wall dedicated to the Juno Canadian Music Hall of Fame. There's just so much stuff there. Like I stood for 20 minutes in front of Katie Lang's dress and this crazy outfit that she had. It's an amazing building and it is a work of art. If you're going to Calgary, go to the NMC. And also our live podcast is going to be there. It's half sold. Is it not, Sarah Burke?
Yeah, we're just over halfway of tickets. So this show, if you've been living under a rock, is September 19th at the National Music Center. Hop, skip, and a jump from Calgary and Edmonton if you can just jump in the car. But, I think a road trip from
Why not?
Ontario is why not? Exactly. Or jump on a plane and see some mountains.
I've heard you call it on terrible. I thought that was
It's
quite
true.
clever.
Well, a
Okay.
lot of people out west call this province unterrible. Have you heard that, Caitlin?
I've heard that a ton.
Exactly. So, but here's the thing about the National Music Center. Like it is a place that is preserving Canadian culture from all of our provinces. They have so many cool things there. Jen, have you ever done the actual tour of the facility?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I have. I've done the tour, and I mean, just for a little snippet, there's so much stuff in there. There's 7,000 historical instruments.
for example, there's this synthesizer that's quite famous, known as Tonto, famously used by Stevie Wonder. So there's international stuff in there as well, like the Rolling Stones mobile studio, which has so much lore attached to it. But like the first mobile recording studio, well known in our time, in our generation, really. Things that make you stop in your tracks when it comes to music history in this country. Corey Hart's sunglasses.
If you're a fan of Elton John, Bernie Taupin and Elton John wrote some of our lifetime's most iconic music, and I mean that. What those two guys wrote together is unbelievable. The piano that Bernie Taupin and Elton John wrote, a lot of these, it's the most unassuming looking piano you ever saw in your life. It is there. And Elton John wanted this piano to go to a place that was very revered and really respected the legacy. Like those guys could have chosen anywhere in the freaking world, and they wanted to be at the National Music Center in Calgary. So people need to know the gravity of that, the gravity. I mean, it's
That's
a
cool.
beautiful, beautiful building. It's I filmed part of the Jann show in there. We filmed kind of like dream sequences kind of stuff in there, but it's watching that thing go up and knowing that it's in Calgary and it's right next to the new Calgary Public Library. So if you're going to be there, it's the most beautiful library I've ever seen in my life. There's just a shout out to the Calgary Public Library. But yeah, we're doing a show. We're doing a live podcast and we're half sold. So come and see us at the National Music Center, September the 19th. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
We do have a promo code as well if you would like to check out any of the exhibitions. Studio Bell, the home of the National Music Center, they're open 7 days a week, 10 to 5, and you can use the promo code JANSB to get 20% off of your next visit.
20%.
So if you come to see us, yeah, you can either go during the day before the show or tack it on to the next day. And right now there is a new exhibition celebrating jazz legend Oscar Peterson and the latest Canadian Music Hall of Fame inductees. So that's Sum 41, Glass Tiger, Dan Hill, Lorena McKennitt, and 325 years of piano history. So that's cool.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful building. They have worked so hard at that place. I don't even know what to tell you. I went and saw Rose Cousins there. I want to say February, March. And the space that she worked in, it's such an adaptable space. It's so state of the art. It can be for 300 people, or it can be for 50 people. The chairs, the seating goes up and down. It just was a stunning, stunning show. I felt really privileged to see Rose there. But yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. And
the architecture is really cool in there too, right?
It will absolutely boggle your mind.
Guys, I was thinking about this because we're elevating our show a little bit. Do we think we need like a theme for what we're wearing? Like, are we coming as like Blues Brothers or like, do we need stage outfits this time? Not just like looking nice?
I feel like we should, in the honor of Tiffany Pratt, have some color going.
Maybe this requires a thrift trip.
I would be game for that.
Why is Caitlin laughing so hard? She's terrified.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not wearing a Blues Brothers outfit, but I will wear color.
Oh my God. I promise you that was a joke. I have no intention of dressing.
I don't know. Ties are back in, man. Like people are wearing ties.
I would wear a tie.
I can't rock a tie. I can't pull it off, I don't think. But they're very cool again. So, but yeah. I would, if Jann picked a colorful thrifted selection, I would be down. I will still be wearing like black shoes or some form of black. There is no stopping me, but I'm going to mix it up because I respect Tiffany Pratt's design opinion too much to shun her advice.
We can ask her to come up with something for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Will.
Look at this cameo, Will. He's here.
He can't hear you guys because I have my headphones on, but Will, can you say hi to Jann and Sarah? He just woke up from his nap. And he's
how about a thumbs up, Will? Can you give us
thumbs up?
Can you give us a thumbs up?
Can you do a wave? Can you show us Lammy? Show Bart Bear Lammy. It's like no. Show him this. This is Bart Bear. Mm-hmm. Bart Bear is very important in our household, and so is Lammy. This is Lammy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great podcast today with Sarah McLachlan. She's a friend of the show. She's done our show before. And it's really great getting a glimpse into her life. I always find her very authentic and really vulnerable. And I'm excited about her new record, Better Broken. It's out September the 19th. But yeah, go on to Spotify, go onto one of your favorite streamers, iTunes, whatever, and listen to Gravity and tell me that that's not another one of McLachlan's classic all-time things that people are going to be weddings, funerals, whatever. They're going to be playing that song. Sarah, Caitlin, always great seeing you. You're in your respective homes. I didn't even get to say that. And I'm here in
We missed
Iceland.
our intro.
I'm here in Iceland, and I will be gone from here by the time you hear this, and I'll be in London with Nigel. So here I am in Iceland again. Yes, I am. And but I'll be heading home on the 11th of September. But I'm looking forward to seeing Nigel. He's taking me to Buckingham Palace.
Amazing. Well, we'll have to get
Yeah.
an update on your English adventures on
Yes.
the next pod. And yeah, thanks to all of our
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah, thank you. You guys, we really appreciate it. If you want to be a Patreon member, be part of our book bag, it's $7 a month. But we just appreciate it. We do an extra, we almost do a whole extra podcast every week, folks. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. We'll see you next time. Toodly-doo.